I figured I better get the live show going soon here. A little early today. Since there's already about 25, 30 comments from a couple of listeners who are extremely frustrated that the Eagles got smacked in their face yesterday by the Dallas Cowboys in embarrassing fashion. We are going to overreact. We're going to bitch. We're going to moan. We're going to complain. We're going to talk all about it. Trending in the AM. We are live. Taking your thoughts and opinions in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM, right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube and Twitter, you know the drill, wherever you're watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to the STT Sports Network page, and share this out to all your social media platforms. We'd greatly appreciate it. Starting this week at 878 subscribers. We're doing better on this channel than the Eagles are doing. So we got lots to get into today as the Eagles took a pretty hard loss yesterday in Big D to the Dallas Cowboys, 24-21, blowing a 21-point early second quarter lead. There's so much to get into. There's so much bitching and moaning, so much frustration that's coming out of that game. And please do me a favor, after you like and subscribe, you vote on the live poll question. Who is to blame the most for the loss to the Eagles? Your four options on YouTube are Nick Sirianni, Kevin Patullo, Jeff Stoutland, and the players. They're your four options right there. And I think there's room to blame, and there's fingers to point at everyone. This was a complete and total organizational failure from the Philadelphia Eagles. Just total brutalness yesterday. So we're going to get right to it here. I'm going to start pounding through all your opinions here because I know Duck and Adam and Nooms have been chatting away for about 30 minutes already in the chat. Should just do a silent show. No words for this horrible loss. We will have a moment of silence for the Eagles offense very soon here. Moment of silence at the top of the hour at least. That was a travesty of the level of malpractice. Yes. These wage thieves with all their NFL experience and knowledge couldn't come up with a play to put them, not one play in almost 3 quarters of football yesterday. These coaches need to give a part of their paycheck to charity this week. We are going to be frustrated today. I know that. It's time Lori and Howie leadership talk while the players are off. Look, Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni, and Jeff Stoutland. Jeff Stoutland's not going to get blamed, but Jeff Stoutland deserves a lot of blame for yesterday as well. Patullo wants that head coach position so bad. Let him quit now. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. I don't feel like Kevin Patullo is the biggest reason or person to be blaming yesterday. They should have gotten that Nepo coach. Yeah, well, we know how you feel about Sirianni. Sitting there and ignoring an issue is a major problem, too. Look, Sirianni's not out of the realm of blame one bit. Starting to think Patullo and Sirianni, they have the offensive knowledge and brain cells of... No, stop. I mean, Sirianni's record still speaks for itself. If I wanted to see a team tank, would have watched the NBA. Well, the Sixers lost yesterday. So did the Union. It was a losing day in Philadelphia. How do you go up 21 points by the second quarter, then after all that, a sudden can't score the rest of the game? Bad preparation, bad execution, penalties. So much went wrong yesterday. Fire Patullo, definitely have anyone else call plays, maybe the quarterback coach at this point. Well, we've been talking about that. Stoutland could call better plays. Well, Stoutland didn't have his guys ready. Stoutland's the offensive line coach. Stoutland is the run game coordinator. The run game stinks, and the offensive line stinks. How much blame, and why is no one going to put blame on Jeff Stoutland? You had Landon Dickerson talking about how they were ill-prepared for the Cowboys' 5-man fronts, which everybody knew the Cowboys were going to run. How does your offensive line coach not have you ready for a clear, obvious game plan? Anyone who doesn't vote Patullo or players need to get off the pipe. Well, I think Nick Sirianni is the number one blame. I think Patullo and Stoutland are equal to blame. I think everybody's equal to blame almost. Can't fire Patullo this point in the season. You can take duties away, but getting a new person in, look, you have somebody like Scott Leffler call the plays. I'm okay. I don't know if it makes a major change or not. Incompetence and malpractice when it comes to players' complacency and lack of drive. I agree with that. And I agree with this comment. It's all fixable. It's just execution. It's attention to detail. It's health. Yes, it's fixable. I don't know how much they can fix before we go against the Pope's chosen few on Friday. Yeah, that's true. It's on the whole team. The OC gave up after the big lead and took the foot off the gas. They need to get someone else to call plays, definitely. Look, Kevin Patullo was not good the second half of that game, but the execution, the penalties, 14 penalties from the Eagles players yesterday. You had every time a good play was dialed up. You had a illegal formation or a false start or a hold or a passive interference. So there were plays called that worked yesterday. The player's execution was a big failure on those plays. Most likely not much. People won't want to hear it, but Cam and Landon may have paid a longer-term price for playing in that Super Bowl last year than people want to admit. Yeah, and they're not healthy this year. They're not playing at a high level this year. I picked players on that poll and Patullo. Look, players, I mean, you got to execute. You can't have 14 penalties. You just can't have 14 penalties. 14 penalties and lose a game. That's on the players. The OC did nothing for 3/4 of the game. I could have gotten a high school coach to call better plays. You very well could have. That means you not on crack. Yeah. I know. I feel the frustration, Duck. I do. Like the Giants games, our weaknesses did not line up well with their now strength. Yeah. The defense wasn't good either, by the way, guys, yesterday. I couldn't put Vic Fangio on that poll question, but the defense wasn't prepared. I thought I'd get less mad or upset overnight, but I found that the opposite. I'm sorry. Let's fire through some of these other ones and get to some of the live questions here and live comments. I'm sick. What's up, Eagles fan? I'm sick of this offense. It's overrated as hell. There's a lot wrong with the offense right now. Good morning, Robert. How you doing? I'm still pissed off. Jim says, I hope this isn't the start of the wheels falling off the bus. I hope not. I don't think it will be. I don't think that Sirianni and Jalen Hurts will let the wheels fall off the bus. I'm almost confident in saying that, Jim. But they got a lot of work to do and a short week to do it against a hot team in the Chicago Bears. Told us to run the ball more. I don't care if they weren't gaining a lot of yards. You run the ball with a big lead to run out the clock. Look, there's my biggest issue with the run game. Yesterday, CFB, Saquon Barkley obviously doesn't have the spark. Saquon Barkley is obviously slower this year. Obviously, the offensive line isn't working. You got a guy in Tank Bigsby, and I'm not trying to be a Tank stan here or anything. You got a guy in Tank Bigsby that's got more energy and more juice in his legs, and he ran one play to Tank Bigsby yesterday. One rush yesterday. This whole team is undisciplined. Nick needs to get his team shit together. Yeah, that's why I blame Nick Sirianni more than Patullo for yesterday. I'm glad the poll's seeing it that way. I still don't understand how only one person voted Stoutland yet, but first 4 possessions of the second half took 4 minutes off the clock. 4 minutes. Not good enough. Not good enough. Not good enough. But how many of those possessions were there plays that would have worked if one idiot wasn't causing a penalty, a stupid penalty, a careless penalty? Isn't Patullo still the OC? He still is. His offense was unprepared. I'm not trying to take any blame off of Patullo either. I'm trying to equally distribute the blame. I want Nick and Patullo fired. That's a massive overreaction to wanting Nick Sirianni fired. Like a massive, massive overreaction, Eagles fan. I get it. I get the frustration. Nick Sirianni is the greatest coach in Eagles history. Plain and simple. Nick Sirianni doesn't grow on trees. That is a big overreaction. I understand, but I don't agree with Nick because it was his buddy he brought here. Yeah. We don't know who's at fault really for bringing Kevin Patullo here. Cowboys fans with bad asthma today from forgetting to dust off this gear. Yeah, absolutely. I agree, Phil. Sirianni is a large part of the blame. He is the head coach, and this team is not prepared. Yeah, and look, you can be frustrated with Nick Sirianni. You also don't need to ask for him to be fired or anything like that. Like, you can have it both ways there. Nick Sirianni's got to do a better job. He's also earned the grace period to figure it out. All these penalties are a reflection of coaching. I want them all gone. Nice. And Patullo, Nick and Patullo are a joke. Look, I get it. Frustration is real. Frustration is real today. I don't want to see a single appearance from a player on a podcast or on a TV this short week. Buckle down and get right. Well, you know that ain't going to be. You know that ain't happening. They're all going to be out there doing things. Yeah, and what about Xavier Gipson and special teams? I saw somewhere that was the 4th time this year he's received a punt inside the 3-yard line. That's punt returning 101. You let it bounce in the end zone. Where's Britton Covey? Why is Britton Covey still on our practice squad? When Xavier Gipson, that dude, should be cut instantly. He ain't worth the trouble. Rams looked great. I didn't even want to watch that game last night. Not the least. This is Giants Saquon. Why? Similar performance by the O-line. It really doesn't need to be broken down much further. Saquon maybe missed a few gaps. Yeah. Me and you have been on the same page. Same page, Nooms, on the offensive line. But how much of it's on the offensive line's health? How much of it's on the offensive line's coach? When you hear Landon Dickerson saying we did not prepare for a 5-man front from Dallas, and that was what got us. That's on coaching. The run game coordinator is also your offensive line coach. That's Jeff Stoutland. He deserves as much blame as anybody else. You're suffering from same thing Bills and Chiefs are, failing O-lines. Hey, I've preached it for years. You build a winning team through the offensive line. Can't watch no more Eagles games this year. Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo are horrible. What people don't understand, this is the offense of Nick Sirianni, not Kevin Patullo. Well, it's Kevin Patullo's offensive play calling of Nick Sirianni's offense. And KP has a Sirianni offense because Sirianni trained him and taught him. Pissed today is an understatement. Look, I get it. I'm pissed too. I'm pissed too. I am. I'm trying to keep it down the middle though here today. Doughboy, they still the best team in football. I don't know. They're not playing like the best team. Nick also brought this bum here. I know. Good teams have mid teams that have their number. It happened, yes. Pass rush. See, and here's the thing, and good comment, Doug, on over on X. How much blame deserves on Vic Fangio? Giving up almost 500 yards of offense. No pass rush. Everything went wrong. This was a 5-level loss. At some point, the Eagles were going to lose a game. It was a good moment, a little smack in the face. And it's a short week turnaround, so they have no time to dwell on the loss, right? So this is what it is. This is the make or break moment of the season. This is the turning point of the season where the wheels could fall off the season or they can right the ship. This is not on the defense. That is all I have to say. They did all they could, and the Eagles couldn't get any points. No rest, 3 outs. Look, you can not blame the defense, and that's fine. I get that. But the defense didn't play well. I'm more concerned about the defense moving forward. Suzanne, with the potential loss of Reed Blankenship, Drew Mukuba, and Adoree Jackson, than I am about what they did. The defense is going to have their moments. They had a bad moment on Sunday. I'm more concerned about the future of the defense with the injuries. I saw Drew Mukuba was in a walking boot after the game. Adoree Jackson probably got another concussion, and hamstring issues are lingering, and that's what Reed Blankenship seemed to have. I don't know who plays safety next week if Reed and Drew can't go. We fired our first Super Bowl winning coach. Why is Nick an exception? I mean, we fired him 5 years after the Super Bowl victory. Was it 5 years? 18, 19, 20? 3 years, actually. Only 3 years after the Super Bowl victory. Because he just won the Super Bowl. There's no reason not to play Tank more yesterday. None. Tank has been successful when Saquon is not. Teams are selling out when he's on the field. Absolutely. Plus, Tank's got a little bit more burst. Phil, I don't remember seeing our guy Phillips out there doing much. He did nothing yesterday. Ineffective yesterday. Beyond belief. John, what's up, my man? How you doing today? First half was great. What happened second half? It was sloppy and lazy. Willing to bet this game. I don't know if it was thrown. That might be a slight overreaction. But it was a lack of execution on every level. Every aspect. There's not one person that I can compliment for their performance yesterday. Laurie and Howie are not going to allow Sirianni to pick another coach for the rest of the time. That's fine, and he shouldn't be allowed to. Was it Dean that had a big sack? Jacoby Dean had the lone sack for the Eagles yesterday. This can be so easily be a repeat of 23. It can be. We're going to find out. We got a short turnaround. 4 days. And then Friday's game. It's going to be a big moment this week. Now this Bears game has a lot on the line. A lot on the line. Guys, a lot of people talking, a lot of people whatever. Make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. 16 votes on the poll. Only 8 likes on the show so far. So like, subscribe, share it out, guys. Why only 8 thumbs? Yep, there we go. Yes, we will see the Eagles again in a few days. That's right. That's right. Please, please. You're right. The defense didn't play well, but they are on the field the entire game. Actually, the Eagles won time of possession, just so you know, yesterday by like a minute and change. So it felt like they were on the field a lot because it was the second half, because the offense couldn't move the ball. The problem is there were plays that moved the ball, but there was constantly a penalty that negated big plays from the offense. And then the Saquon fumble and the Gibson fumble. The fan base issue is they will start comparing to 23. This is its own year, own set of challenges. I agree. This is not 23. Could it end up the same way? Possibly. But we won't know that yet. It's crazy how good Barkley could be 1 year, and then this mid. It's offensive line. And the wear and tear last year. Went into Jerry's world and came out a disaster, I know. And all the fans are hating each other and turning on each other. Man, it seems like the offense is on the field for what feels like a minute. Yeah, it does. But they actually won the time of possession. They had several drives yesterday, even in the second half where they moved the ball, and then penalties slowed it down. The Eagles were better than we think at times yesterday. 21-0 and needed only 17 more points and got nothing. Blame is Nick. Look, Jonathan, Nick Sirianni deserves blame, 100%. I'm glad he's winning the poll early here. But there's so much blame. You can't point the finger at one person. Over $200+ million for this offense. What a joke. What's a joke is the optics of A.J. Brown laughing and giddy, cracking jokes with the media. Miserable when they're winning football games. They lose a game, but A.J. Brown has 8 catches, over 100 yards and a tutty. That's all good. We just got to do better. Ha, ha, ha. Let's make some jokes. Really missed Becton. He was laying guys out. I said Becton would be a big loss. I did. And the depth on our offensive line when guys get injured. Fred Johnson yesterday. I know going into the game, Fred Johnson's like, it's time for me to make a name for myself. Well, he made a name for himself that he ain't a starting offensive lineman. We had great depth last year. Fred Johnson was our 7th or 8th guy. Tyler Steen was our first guy off the bench. Depth on the offensive line is a major issue, and Howie Roseman will have to address it in the offseason for sure. Maybe feel right. Hurts had great passing stats, but no W. All I care about is wins, and that's all that should matter. Dallas tackles aren't really even top 10. That is what is difficult to process. What's difficult to process is comments like Landon Dickerson saying, we weren't prepared for the 8-man fronts. Or the 5-man fronts. The negative plays, penalties, fumbles, etc. really killed us. That's why I'm saying it can't all be on one person. It's got to be on everybody. It's a top-to-bottom failure yesterday. I don't know. The locker room is looking down. It could collapse at any point right now. It really could. I hope it won't, but it could. A good reminder, year for all teams. If your O-line struggles, it's over. Yeah. Hey, at least AJ got his 100 yards and tutty, right? That's all that matters, right? I'm not really a guy that wants to make those drama comments. Let me tell you something. I'm stirring the pot with the drama big time. Patullo's OC should make sure his offense is prepared. Nick Sirianni's got to make sure Patullo's prepared. Patullo's got to make sure the offense and Jeff Stoughton's prepared. And Jeff Stoutland and the players got to execute. And it didn't happen. He got his yards, and now AJ is a pig in shit. What a joke. Dude, I know some people say it's no big deal. To me, optics matter in sports, and AJ optics were bad yesterday. AJ's a problem when he's happy and cheerful because he made his numbers and the team lost. Yeah. This one, Adam, said that this was a possibility. The Kelly Green luster, gone. If this season's a collapse, the collapse is going to be remembered for happening when Kelly Green was on. We never play more than a quarter of football on the offense. We have not had a complete game. And that is a major concern because we're not 4 weeks into the season, Eagles fan. We are now, we're 8-3, so it's 12 weeks into the season. We've had like 8 good halves of football. Oh, there you looking for non-football reasons of football problems. Absolutely. Hey, I can stir the pot occasionally. I know how to do it. Jalen Hurts deserves blame for not using his feet on 3rd and 5, leading 21-7. No one will survive there. I don't remember that specific play, Jonathan. The shitty offense is going to cost us a repeat. A lot of things going to cost us not a repeat. So close to 880. I just want those numbers to go up. We got to hit those like and subscribe and share buttons, guys. It means a lot. AJ looked sad when we won the Super Bowl. Smitty will always be wide receiver 1 in my eyes. People really forgot how good Smitty is because of all the attention. Absolutely. I'm the one that a couple years ago started the drama that blew up everywhere that Smitty's greater than AJ. Maybe you could turn AJ for 2 firsts and a player. O-line, you're not getting that much. Not even close to that much for him. As a CEO, head coach, as all CEOs, they depend on department heads to tell them what's going on. If they lie to him, that is on the liar. That's on Kevin Patullo, for sure. You're right. Can you believe this shit? We haven't played 1 complete game in 11 games. I mean, think about that. 11 weeks in a bye, 11 games in a bye week, and we played like 8, 7 halves of complete football. I can't even consider yesterday a complete half of football because our last score, there was still over 11 minutes left in the second quarter when we scored our final points. That's 41 minutes of football that we went without scoring. That is inexcusable. For Nick Sirianni, for Jalen Hurts, for Kevin Patullo, for Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Fred Johnson, Matt Pryor, and the ball boy. Unacceptable to go that long without scoring. What you saw out there is not just one play. This is a top-to-bottom issue. Absolutely agree. Not over by a long shot. I would still put good money they go and get it. Look, it's not over. Not over at all. But we got to figure out what's wrong, and we got to finally fix it. And I don't have faith that they are right now. Smitty right now is greater than AJ, without a doubt. 3rd and 5, leading. It was still in the second quarter. He threw the ball out of bounds. Stay in the pocket under duress. I'll have to look it up. But, yeah. Look, Jalen Hurts, statistically speaking, had a good game. But Jalen Hurts, statistically, the statistics don't show. What about the execution? What was it? 3rd and 2? Near midfield? And I forget, was it the late in the second, early in the third? And he takes a sack, knocking him in back that they have to punt. Instead, if he just throws that ball away, they go for it on 4th down. So let's throw some shade Jalen Hurts' way. That sack he took, atrocious. Smitty is better route runner, faster, tracking the ball, climbing the ladder. He does everything better. Pound for pound, size-wise, he's better. Don't think too much. Just what you think you could get for AJ. I don't know. We talked about it last week. I don't want to really get into that till the offseason comes around. Say what you want about the 17 birds, but they could deal with 3rd and long on the regular. This offense is it is tough because there aren't many 3-level concepts. They had plays successful yesterday, though. 3rd down, 2nd down, 1st down, but the penalties and the mistakes cost them. Not even a damn field goal. In 41 minutes of football, they did miss a field goal. Sirianni is responsible because this is a week-over-week issue, and he's not done anything to resolve. Exactly. So, yeah, it is on Sirianni. I'm not going to call for his head or his job, but, yeah, Sirianni is to blame. Majorly. Not just unacceptable, it's incompetent. A lot of incompetence on the field yesterday, no doubt about it. Personally believe this is a front office issue as well. Changes should have been made at the bye. What could be worse than the play caller we have? Look, Howie Roseman can be blamed just on the simple fact that he didn't build a good enough offensive line this year. We've got 2 of his draft picks in Ty Robinson and Mac McWilliams that are still inactive every single game day. All your young offensive linemen that you picked up, none of them have been activated or played a game yet. The Eagles have been a failure this year, top to bottom. I knew you meant Nick. The Bears go to blow us out. I can't be confident after what I just saw. Hurts had a better game than Allen this week statistically, and we lost. Cowboys O-line did a good job. Let's be frank, they did. The fact that our great pass rush had 1 sack and barely pressured, and Jalen Hurts at one point in the game was pressured on over almost 40% of the snaps. I think it was like 38%. He faced pressure in his face on his dropbacks. It's on the O-line. AJ might be this year's Hassan Reddick. He might be. I had to check the oven when I heard Phil yell, "You can't take a sack there." You can't take a sack. Nick needs to get his players on the same page. He does. That's what CEO coaches do, right? Step in moments like this. The 3rd and 2 was atrocious. Hurts just take the sack. Nick worried about turnover. That's a turnover. Now, he shouldn't have taken a sack on that 3rd and 2. He could have thrown that ball away. You get over 300, I can't mess with you statistically. Howie is showing Sirianni trust. I'm guessing that will not happen again going forward. Allen, when he's bad, he is super bad. Robert, how do you get players on the same page when one of your best cares about, yeah, absolutely. I get it. And I got crushed for calling AJ out on Twitter after the game, saying he's not to blame. People are blinded on AJ Brown. Can we blame Big Dom? We can absolutely blame Big Dom. Whoever you want. What's up, Elephant? How you doing? Credit the Cowgirls for how they bottled up Jalen Carter. Couldn't see a time where he wasn't double or triple teamed. They had the defensive line locked down the entire game, Freddie. Entire lockdown. They won the trenches, the Cowboys. The Eagles did not. To me, it doesn't add up. What doesn't add up, John? I'm curious what doesn't add up. Because it doesn't add up. How bad this team has instantly become. To me, it doesn't add up how we can look so dominant all of last year, and despite not looking dominant, still win a majority of our games this year, but look as bad as we did yesterday. It just doesn't add up. There's something wrong. Something wrong in this organization. Could you imagine if the locker room threw this much shade? Look, this is what we do as fans. We vent. We overreact. The body deals with infections by quarantining, if then injecting it. AJ right now is the infection. You're getting really deep with that comparison right there. Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button. Only 10 likes. There's 21 people watching right now. Subscribe, share, vote on the poll question, guys. What's up, Brianna? How you doing today? Look, there's so much to blame. I'm sitting here, going through 127 comments in less than 30 minutes, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, trying to find some glimmer of hope, trying to find some way to hold on to something here. The good thing is, we got Washington twice. We got the Raiders. There's 3 more wins on our schedule. The division is still ours. But we don't want division, right? We want more Super Bowls, right? Something's got to give. If not Scott Leffler calling plays, would you be 100% against Nick Sirianni taking over play calling? Kevin Patullo is so bad at play calling. Would it be the worst thing in the world to let Nick Sirianni take it over for a little while? to help out a little bit? Phil, after you get a ton of negative publicity tweet out for them to come over here and I try. The impact of the trenches and it will all add up. Look, the trenches are a problem, but so is the guy coaching the trenches, Nooms. How does Mr. Stoutland take no blame for not developing one of these guys to be better to fill in? How does Jeff Stoutland not get any blame from anybody when you have guys ill-prepared for what the defense of the Dallas Cowboys is going to throw your way? How does Jeff Stoutland, the run game coordinator, not take blame for not getting Tank Bigsby in the game a little bit more? FAN stands for fanatics. Fanatics are thinkers. They're reactionary. I love being a reactionary fan. I don't want to be, don't like it down the middle, biased or, unbiased, like just Nooms, calls it very straightforward. I get it. I'd rather be an overreactionary fan. How do we only have 7? That 11 likes. That's not good enough. We don't get to the Super Bowl if he doesn't go through if it doesn't go through the link. Yeah, I mean, maybe. There's no difference between Sirianni and Patullo in terms of play calling. Probably not. But what if there is? How do we know? It's terrible the way it is. You got to think Leffler or Sirianni could do a better job than what KP is doing. Sirianni should come out and say, I'm taking over play calling this week. Honestly, why not? Let Jalen Hurts call his own plays. I'm curious, what is the backstory with Patullo? How did he get the job? He is been working with Nick Sirianni. He's been on Nick Sirianni's staff since with the Colts. So Sirianni, before he was the Eagles head coach, was the offensive coordinator with the Indianapolis Colts, and Patullo was on his staff there for several years. So they've been working side by side for 6, 7, 8 years now. And that was just a promote from within. I'm going to reward you, Kevin Patullo, for your loyalty to me by giving you a job that you're not prepared to do. A job that for 16 years in the NFL, coaching, you were never offered this job once. I'm going to give you your chance. Because MD and DO isn't after his name. Gotcha. Nick is there's something wrong with his very cautious offense for years. Laurie signed off to it. Look at Stafford and Dak. They played with a will, and Stout deserves blame for sure. Stout deserves blame, 100%. Who is worse, your boy Patullo or Joe Brado? I don't know. Is Joe Brady even on a team right now? Coaching? Eagles need a new set of eyes and voice in game day play calling. They do. It's Sirianni's playbook and play calling philosophy, and we have seen this before. I know. Patullo's a Nepo baby. He is. He really is, honestly. When you think about it. First half, Eagles played well. Not even the whole first half, but first quarter and a half, and very well. Second half, we completely lost how to play football. Something changed second half. No scoring at all. The last score was with 11 minutes and change left in the second quarter. So it wasn't even the second half. It was the second half and the second quarter, John, and it was really bad. No bueno. Not good. But there were plenty of positive plays. It's the execution from the players on certain plays. That Matt Pryor, illegal formation. How does your offensive lineman, hey, I need you to go in there and report as a wide receiver and go do X, Y, Z. Okay? Go do X, Y, and Z out there. Yes, sir. Matt Pryor goes out, does his job wrong, negates a big play. Stoutland, not having his guy ready to go. I really like John Gruden hiring. Stop. No John Gruden. John Gruden will never work in football again. There's way too many allegations with his name. Joe Brady. He's Bill's offensive coordinator? Good. Yeah, then I don't want him. And Patullo and Sirianni will leave side by side real soon. Chip got fired. Well, hold on. Fired by the Raiders? No. We do not want Chip Kelly back. That is for sure. Yes, Chip Kelly was relieved of his offensive play calling duties and just straight up fired by the Raiders this morning. I'm fine. We went to up-tempo a few times yesterday in the second and third quarter. and the offense was moving the ball. And then a negative play negated a big play, and then they went back to the huddle and it slowed down and it backfired. So again, relaunch. What's up, Rolo? There's so many levels of failure. Baker got crushed and Teddy is terrible. What changed is that Patullo did not adapt to the defense presented. Yes, 100%. 100%. There's some really ill-timed and inaccurate flags both ways. 60-year-old men ain't running with 25-year-olds. Play call or penalties were atrocious on both sides. We did not lose the game because of the refs. We lost it because we committed 14 penalties. And a lot of them were penalties. There were some missed ones as well. Yeah, maybe Cooper Dejean should have gotten offensive pass interference, not DPI, whatever. There were some makeup calls throughout the game. It's a shame. But we didn't lose because of the penalties based off of the refs. We committed a lot of those mistakes. No, we're not bringing Chip Kelly back at him. Get out of here with that nonsense. No one wants Chip Kelly. I think he's just joking. I didn't know that he was fired again. He was fired. It just broke this morning, Chip Kelly, from what I heard. Would you rather have Brian Johnson at this point? Absolutely. Again, I remind you, Brian Johnson had the 8th-ranked offense in football in 23. 23, it was the defense that fell apart. Brian Johnson was a scapegoat. Why not, John? That shit was years ago, right? It was years ago. No. John Gruden has not been a successful coach on any level for a very long time. He's a cartoon character of himself. Yeah, no. Want nothing to do with that, man. Up-tempo is hurts. A negative play allows Patullo to give his shitty 2 cents. Yes. Yes. Sorry, there's just so many things wrong with John Gruden. And even the last couple times he was on a sideline, he wasn't good anyway. It's been over a decade, maybe decade and a half since he's been a good play caller in the NFL. Negative plays always hurt, but it is so much worse with this team. Yeah. Because they don't seem to be able to, you make one mistake, and it's the end of it. It could be 2nd and 1. You could have a false start and go to 2nd and 6, and that's the end of the drive. 2nd and 6 shouldn't be the end of a drive. Any negative play, even if it's a run, Saquon gets stopped for a 2-yard loss. That's the drive's over. If you get one negative play, this offense clams up instantly. Never seen anything like that before. Refs were awful, but not the deciding factor. That why no one is putting this flaming bag of crap on their stoop. Good. You shouldn't. Shouldn't put the blame on the refs. So when are those retirement cooking streams you're talking about? Yeah, no, not right now. Yeah, he is radioactive. He might be more radioactive than Chernobyl. That is for sure. Yeah, Gruden, no. Gruden, Kelly, there's a lot of bad ideas out there. And anyway, none of them would fix what problems we have. Maybe it'll take some of the pressure off some of the other guys in the sense that they would be the ones taking heat and getting questioned. The 2nd and 2s that end up in failure are the bad ones. Why, though? What is wrong with a team where a 5-yard penalty on 2nd and 2 means the drive is over? In no realm is that even remotely possible to happen as often as it does to the Eagles. It makes literally no sense to me. None. You can't be that bad. That one 5-yard penalty ruins a drive. Have you noticed about Hurts is that when he decides to pass from pocket, that he doesn't scramble to run when coverage is tight? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Jaelan knows what he's doing out there in the sense of, do I play street ball, run around, scramble, and make a play with my legs? Or do I play the prototypical pocket quarterback that A.J. Brown and so many people want me to be? There's a little bit of that Don McNabb. When they tried to make Don McNabb a pocket passer, he had struggles in his career. When you take that away from him, make a play with your arm, complete a pass, this or that. No. When he starts worrying about what people are saying about his stats, that's when Hurts seems to struggle. Hurts mostly runs with a play call to do so. He doesn't not scramble around as much. And I don't know why. It also could be him trying to protect his body as well, which I'm sure has something to do with it. He's taken injuries in the past. Is Sirianni close to losing the locker room yet? It's a great question. I don't think so. But is he? Maybe. Maybe. The next 2 or 3 weeks are really going to be telling. Very, very telling. Is that tonight's Monday Night Football game? Let me check the line. Let me see let me get the game up here to get the score or in the line. It's in San Fran. San Fran 7-point favorites. I'm going to say the Panthers cover the 7 points, but the 49ers win by 4. I'm going to go 31 49ers, 27 Panthers for tonight's Monday Night Football game. You heard it here first. Despite all this, I'm watching these other games yesterday and seeing these same issues everywhere. It's just the NFL right now, and we are a little spoiled. Yeah, the parity in the NFL. Nooms. The way the rest of the league is playing out, all we got to do is play semi-competent football, and we're still the best team in the NFL. We're lucky to be 8-3 at this point with the schedule we faced. The cup half full conversation would be when we just played the Cowboys twice, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Buccaneers, the Packers, the Lions, all these teams we faced. We are 8-3 with the easier part of our schedule upcoming. We should be happy where we're at. But yesterday was such a frustrating way to lose that it's hard to be that way. Hurts is letting this team stew in their own juices because I'm sure after his negative reaction on camera in week 3 was pushed down by leadership. It's true. It's true. I really like this channel. Thank you very much. I'm going to subscribe. We do this every morning, 8 a.m., 90 minutes, plus I go live for the show. Every opinion. We're not going to always agree, Susan. As you say, I didn't agree with John Gruden. But we always discuss every opinion. So please tell everybody to like and subscribe and share. I appreciate it. Trying to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. I'm a big fan. Good morning, Little G. Hope you are well. Do you trust Patullo to set this team up to play semi-competent football? At this moment, no, I do not. WIP, I'm sure they're asking to fire everybody today. I'm sure they are. I'd love to say, in the words of Dave Scatino, that this is the stutter step. But after witnessing 23, I can't help but have anxiety. Just a little stutter step. Davey Scatino, a little stutter step. Oh, you're talking about the sports star, the sports shop owner. I know who you're talking about. I was thinking of Paulie and Christopher when his first envelope was like. Was it USC? I'm sure you heard about that. Sorry, wrong person I'm thinking there, but good one. I love it. It's a great pull from Freddie Defoe right there. 879. Look, thank you, Susan, for subscribing. Tell your friends. That was Cowboys Super Bowl. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Susan. Welcome to the family. They only ran 2 or 3 read options yesterday. It's a lot different for Saquon when a crashing tackle doesn't need to consider Hurts. Absolutely. Oh, ratings are through the chart. I can't get the ratings, say. I've only got 10 likes on this video the last I checked. Let's see. Let's see where the likes are on this video. Let's hit that reset. But I'm sure WIP is going through it. But the title of this show today was not a clickbaity title, I guess, in my opinion. Only 11 likes. That's impossible. 25 poll votes, but only 11 likes. That's sad. This is the Eagles getting smacked in the face. This is a wake-up call for this Eagles team and organization. How will they respond to it? They got the wake-up call in 23. They responded. They've got the experience from 23 to understand. Now, I'm sure WIP is doing numbers because they're spewing all negativity and hate. I'm letting you guys vent your hate, but I'm trying to keep it a little fair down the middle. Chiefs Dallas, is that next week? Or is that on Thanksgiving? I haven't even looked at what the Thanksgiving games are this week, Little G. There was also very little. I don't think I saw it once. Actually, I saw Dallas Goedert half-trot in motion to the line once, and it was the play where he was wide open over the middle, where he sat down, and Jalen Hurts threw a bad pass, or the wrong pass, and he had Dallas Goedert over the middle. That play, there was like a smidge of motion on. Rams getting 1 seed, and if Dallas runs the table, definitely beating Washington, Giants, and Vikes. Might beat KC and Lions. Dallas will not win the division. No chance that Dallas wins the division. This team is running on stupid basic levels. Yeah, not on empty, on basic levels. I'm going to unsubscribe because you don't agree with me. People do that, though, Susan. People do that. All right? I got haters. People don't like my even-keeled down the middle way of doing this show. They want hot takes. You can't wake up someone in a coma. They have to wake themselves up. Well, they got to be slapped in the face. It's going to come down to how badly they want this. Do they forever live off of an epic Super Bowl win, or they want perennial success? Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's a good and a bad thing that it is a short week. I'm excited for Black Friday and the Bears. But it's also a short week to identify and solve the problems. Main problems, Eric says, on offense is Patullo, Sirianni, O-line, Stoutland. Well, at least you're giving me one person is admitting that Stoutland's got a problem. The fact that Stoutland's gotten 1 of 25 votes as a main problem, I mean, is he the main problem? No. But Jeff Stoutland's been bad this year. The tight end's not blocking, absolutely. The O-line is a massive issue. And only 2 people, Nooms and I, in the chat, have really regularly talked about it since day 1 this year. We've beaten so many good teams this year. Eagles' offensive play might not change. Eagles in trouble. And really, how much change can you make? You got a 5-day week, 5-day turnaround. Can't make major changes on that. Now, after the Bears game, maybe they can make some changes to the play calling when you have an extra weekend to turn things around. Hung my stock. You already hung your stocking. I will do that on Friday. Well, we know Sirianni has 5 seasons or under from a Super Bowl win to lose his gig. Yeah, exactly. Hey, why didn't people like Grant the times he got involved? He's produced ESP with Dallas. He's not a good blocker. Look, our tight ends are not good right now at all. To appease the fan base, any people thinking last year's Commanders game, 23's Niners game, or its own game. It's its own game. It's its own game. We hope they kick the Bears' butt. Nah, mister, you can't blame the refs for yesterday. In my humble opinion, you absolutely cannot blame the refs, okay? Did they get a couple calls? Yes, the Cowboys did get a couple calls. But you know what? I cannot blame the refs. They'd be 10th on a top 10 list of issues from yesterday. Now, the Bears will set up the 8-man rush because they know we didn't prepare. Absolutely. I hate when you hear comments like Landon Dickerson that we weren't prepared for that. I hate when, what did Fred Johnson say after the game? He was asked about the ineffectiveness of the run game. And he said, his quote was, well, you'll have to ask the coaches about that. It's not just Kevin Patullo. There's some frustration with all the coaches coming out from these players. We need a little team meeting here. We need a Larry Boa breaking a baseball bat. We need a Billy Bean breaking a boombox. Most of those penalties were on their own stupidity. Exactly. 14 penalties are not the refs. That's on you. I mean, maybe ticky-tack calling 14 penalties. Plus the Cowboys had 7 or 8 as well. Almost 25 penalties in that game yesterday. I do not, but Susan might. I'm not sure. We had many drives to clean our act up, and I ain't blaming refs in this one. Good. You shouldn't. And anybody that does, I think, is taking the cheap excuse, the cheap way out. You guys play Bears. That's good content. It's going to be a fun one. The refs did call some shady penalties whenever the Eagles got in Dallas territory. They were ticky-tack, some of them. But they were all to the letter of the law penalties. Then Lane threw shade at Stoutland because he's the running back coordinator. Lane didn't throw shade. Landon Dickerson and Fred Johnson were the 2 that called out. Fred Johnson and Landon Dickerson made subtle digs at the offensive line and the offense were an issue. Man, I've trash talked Caleb Williams for a long time. A decimated secondary, hate to say it, could really be a difference in Friday's game. I don't know what you do. I'm hoping Reed Blankenship can play. Drew Mukuba in a walking boot, so probably a no. And a Dory Jackson, a concussion on a short week, is not getting cleared. There's a chance Drew Mukuba and who? Who's going to be your other starting safety? Marcus Epps is on IR. It's going to be Sidney Brown and who? Playing safety. That's not good. I don't even know who our fourth safety is on our team. It's bad. Real bad. You might have to put Cooper Dejean back there. And they went Keely Ringo instead of Jacorian Bennett yesterday. I didn't see Jacorian Bennett on the field once yesterday. Refs could call a penalty on every play if they want to. Just so happens they call penalties in the Eagles on critical plays. And that's true, yes. There are penalties on every play. I get that. I still think we the better team. I agree. We are the better team. I want to see snap counts. Eagles, I wonder if they've released the snap counts yet. Let's see. It was a 4 o'clock game, so they should be out. All right, Eagles snap counts. I want to look on defense here. Who played safety? Ringo played 4 snaps. Jacorian Bennett did not play a single snap. Sidney Brown was on 26. Michael Carter. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what you do at safety at this point. I don't. Jihaad Campbell down to 11 snaps on defense. That's a shame. That's sad to see. That is very sad to see. Tank Bigsby was out there for 3 plays total. 3. Cam Latu, 3 plays total. Will Shipley, 8 plays. Your running game is ineffective with Saquon. Try something different. This might be the Justin Simmons baby time. If Drew Mukuba's out for the, who else are you playing at safety? Tyler Steen has to improve. Dude had me cussing and got my belly cramping. The entire offensive line. Congratulations. Awesome for you. If we beat Dallas, we could have rested players for the Chicago game. If we lose against the Pope's Chosen, we'll not hear the end of it. Yeah, it's true. Blessing in disguise, according to Rick. This Eagles team will get better because of it. Wake-up call is correct. Fly, Eagles, fly. The problem is there's so many wake-up calls that are needed, Rick. Because you could point the finger on yesterday's debacle in so many directions. A short week with that wake-up call, which can be a good thing as well as a bad thing. So, yeah, wake-up call, smacked in the face, punched in the nuts. We are not the better team. You lose, then you were not the better. We were not the better team yesterday. We are overall the better team. Carter, too, was better in the slot. Maybe we move Coop back to safety. Bennett's cornerback. That might be what you have to do, honestly. You're probably going to get Bennett, or you're probably going to get Coop on the outside and Carter in the slot because, well, you know, they don't want to play Jacorian Bennett for some reason. They don't even give him a shot. Been calling out Campbell all year. Don't care if he is from my town. Very hesitant and possibly now hitting a wall. Hey, wait. Nakobe Dean's excellent play is helping that or is keeping him off the field. But Campbell might have hit a rookie wall. For sure. I'm not giving up hope on him at all. You're a better man than me. I'd be too pissed off to wake up this morning and talk Eagles. Well, I actually missed it. You know, I had an opportunity. I'm getting up later now. I didn't get down here and set up till like minutes before the show started. But I missed. By waking up later with no pizza shop, I had a text message at 5 a.m. from Jason Lee. He needed a last-second guest on TV this morning at 7:30, and I missed it. Damn it. Sleeping in cost me another TV appearance this morning. 23 taught us to appreciate what we got. That loss hurt, but it ain't as bad as yesterday looked. The sky is not falling. See, I want to try to look at this. Some people are way too negative. Some people are way too positive, Rick. Down the middle thinking, the sky is not falling. We can breathe. But yes, yesterday did look as bad as it was. There's not one place you can look and point your finger to and be like, damn, that area of the team played a complete game. We're 11 games into the season. We have not played a complete game yet in all aspects of the football game. So while it's not the sky is falling, it was as bad as it looked. I just missed out on a manager position to someone less qualified for it last week. I was not the better man. I now have to make decision on next. Oh, that sucks. That's the absolute worst. I'm sorry about that, Doc. I feel bad for you. You're a good man. I mean, the little I know. Missing out, putting face out there to grow the channel and grow your brand. I know. I slept till 7:30 this morning. I'm sorry. 7:30 for an 8 o'clock show. We told ourselves in 23 the sky wasn't falling. Sorry for being doom and gloom, but that was a traumatic year. It was. And I get it. And I kept saying ugly wins and all through 23, I'm like, don't worry. A win's a win, whether it's an ugly win or not. I always said it was no big deal. But it caught up to us. The injuries make this just another bad spot. Maybe for once they can overachieve and exceed expectations. It would be nice to see that. You got to think Vic Fangio isn't happy with how his defense played. He's going to have them running wind sprints today, probably. But that's what I'm saying. We are not the better team when you lose and have to make changes and corrections. That's the thing. They have the talent to be able to make the changes, right? Or to correct these things. It's do the leaders have the ability, the coaches that is, to make the right changes? That's the question. That's the thing. Another Twitter commenter today, Gio. When will people realize that the main culprit is Nick Sirianni? Look, Nick Sirianni is not having his best year as a head coach. There's no doubt it. Now, I'm not Gio. No, it's actually Glow, not Gio. I am not pointing. So I am pointing the finger towards Nick Sirianni, but I'm not like others calling for his job already. He's earned the benefit of the doubt to figure it out. And he's got a little bit of a grace period to figure it out, big picture. But yeah, Nick Sirianni's a culprit. I understand why you did it. Yeah, I got you. I was surprised that no one, Eagle defender, wasn't engaged in feuding with Sirianni, Hurts, Patullo, or Stoutland. Couldn't get a damn field goal in the second half. Yeah. And the second half of the first half. They literally only played 18 and a half minutes of good football yesterday. 41 and a half minutes of bad football. They couldn't get a score. But if your coaches aren't prepared, can you see this team overachieving when leadership is not up to the task or maybe not trusted to achieve the basics? It's tough. This is a tough one, man. This is a tough Monday. This is a tough Monday to get through right now. Improve your ass-kissing skills and wear something sexy to work if you want to. Yep. Yeah, exactly. I knew what you meant. Man. Anyway, guys, please, if you haven't yet, like, share, subscribe, vote on the poll. Kevin Patullo has overtaken Nick Sirianni for the leader in the clubhouse. Nick Sirianni and the players are equally to blame, and still only one vote for Jeff Stoutland to blame for the Eagles' loss to the Cowboys. And I put Jeff Stoutland's name on there knowing he wouldn't win the poll, but wanting to put his name out there into the conversation. It was either Jeff Stoutland or Vic Fangio. Because as much as the offense of the Eagles just needs to score one more time, guess what? The Eagles' defense needed to make one more stop, and that's all. Your defense gave up 24 straight points. Your defense gave up big pass plays. Your defense gave up almost 500 yards of offense to the Dallas Cowboys. Just think about that. Dak Prescott over 350 passing yards against this great secondary. You couldn't get one sack on Dak Prescott when it mattered. When was the Kobe Dean sack? First half of the game. So putting Jeff Stoutland on the poll question was to kind of bring some attention to him. But also, Vic Fangio's to blame too. It is not easy for a playmaking tweener in the NFL, especially in a rookie season. Campbell did his job the first 11 games by being passable. Colts and Eagles did the same, blew 29 lead and a 20-0 lead. Yeah, I mean, Zach Bond drops an interception. Zach Bond missed a tackle. Reed Blankenship got juked out of his shoes on a big play. There's probably half a dozen big missed tackles, and obviously the big jack ball and interception drop. So we can blame the offense all we want. The offense put up 21 points. Yeah, 4 more points would have been nice. But the defense gave up 24 straight. I didn't vote because the rest weren't an option. Well, I wish YouTube would put as many options as I'd like, but they won't let me. Hard to make 2 Super Bowls and win one if you don't prepare. But he might be caught with his pants down this year. Every year is indeed different. Yeah. Every year is different. And I'm not saying this is 23. But it could end up like 23. If you're not careful. If you don't pay attention to what's going on this week on this short week of practice. And my guess is they'll have a walkthrough on Tuesday. They'll have a shells practice on Wednesday. And they'll have a walkthrough on Thursday. And that's it. There's going to be less practice this week getting ready for the Bears. They'll still do their classroom work and their film study. There's going to be very minimal practice to right the ship this week. That's the big problem with short weeks. But this week has got to be about the coaches and the players getting on the same page. The coaches and the players looking at each other and finding a way to regain trust in each other. This short week isn't about X's and O's. Why was Matt Pryor lined up in an illegal formation? This is about them shaking themselves and waking up and being like, yo, it's unacceptable the way we've played. This week's a look in the mirror kind of week. And what's up, Bach? And you're absolutely right. 14 effing penalties. So not locked in. 14 penalties is not on the refs. That is on you, the players. I mean, A.J. Brown, he was asked about his penalty and he just chuckled about it. Yeah, it was on me, false start, whatever. The Matt Pryor illegal formation penalty kills me. You had one job to do, Matt Pryor. One job. To go out there in that jumbo package and block. And you couldn't line up in the right spot? Are you crazy? How's that even possible? Actually, I want to see how many snaps was Matt Pryor even out there for. Matt Pryor's out there for 2 plays. And he got called for a penalty on 50% of his snaps. You get to play in 2 plays. And you got called for 50% of the time. It's ridiculous. I remind you that one of the false starts was on AJ, and he's smiling, acting like a fool in the locker room. Exactly. Because he got what he wanted. It's the lack of attention to detail that is the harbinger of losing focus. Yeah. Or attention to detail is the players, or is the coaches getting the players to focus on that. Pryor shouldn't be on the team right now, let alone next season. What's up, Big Al? Offense went cold and defense panicked. Team tried not to lose, not to win. Oh, team tried to not lose, not to win. Absolutely. And I'm just trying to make sure equal blame is passed top to bottom. Howie Roseman straight on down. It can end up being like 23, especially if they lose to the Bears. Matt Pryor's simply terrible. Stoutland U is a myth. We were ready to put Stoutland in the Hall of Fame a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Stoutland deserves more than 1 vote on this poll. 3% of 29 people, I'm assuming that's 1 person, voted for him. Defense was tired at that point. Defense just got to make 1 stop. I'm counting BS on that one. AJ actually called himself out as being one of the players contributing to the loss. It's optics, Nooms. Optics. Optics matter when the emotions are fragile. Smiling and giggling and cracking jokes is not what you want after a loss. Not. This Gibson guy has to go bring... Covey's on our practice squad. Twice yesterday, He received the punt inside the 5-yard line. Didn't see that when the Cowboys punt returner, he let it bounce into the end zone. You let that bounce. Gibson should be cut right now. And you promote Brayton Covey next week. Although now you might have to promote a safety and a cornerback from the practice squad. I don't even know who's on our practice squad right now in those positions. Might have to bring back Perry Nickerson if he's available. You're telling me one of the rookies on the practice squad isn't better than Pryor? Apparently not. And that's a big concern. You brought in all these guys. Miles Hinton didn't even get activated. Cam Williams, Holland Pierce. These guys are on your practice squad and can't see the light of day. That's on Howie Roseman and Stoutland. Is Eli Ricks on our practice squad right now? I don't know. He's been cut and added to the practice squad 47 times this year, so I'm not even sure what practice squad he's on right now. And I know you were joking about that to an extent. The rest of the locker room looked devastated, and he's clowning like it was a win. Exactly. Optics. I hate a word, but I love the word. Optics matter. He was laughing at a situation with the reporter. No, I don't think so. I watched the entire interview. Okay? He did not seem distraught with the loss. Did not. One bit. I'm going to strongly disagree with you on that one, Nooms. Duck, you are not wrong. Dallas kept going for big plays, stretching exhausted the secondary, and the D-line wasn't the same by the second half. We got no pressure on him at all. The D-line wasn't good the entire game for the Eagles. Can we get Devin Hester? Isn't he in the Hall of Fame already? Has he been gone long enough to be in the Hall of Fame? First you want John Gruden, now you want Devin Hester. We're digging deep into the bag of tricks today, Susan. Matt Pryor had to make the 53 because he's just someone they decided to appreciate. Stoutland does do that. He does trust people that he shouldn't. It was not. I also watched the entire interview. We was laughing the whole time. Exactly. He had this big wide grin. No, I can read people. And I know he called himself out for the false start. But no, that was a completely different post-game A.J. Brown than the last 4 weeks. Okay? The last 4 weeks, he was miserable. Okay? I love it, Susan. The randomness of some of those comments. That's what we do here. BG old ass not get off the field. Look, BG ain't doing anything. BG was supposed to save the team. Guess what? The team's been worse since Brandon Graham's come back. He played 8 snaps yesterday, Brandon Graham. 1 more than Byron Young. That's not good. Brandon Graham ain't doing nothing. Brandon Graham was a waste of a return, it seems like. Probably should have stayed retired. The locker room is sad, and he's laughing and acting the fool. He's the one that can't read the room. Exactly. Read the room. I'm actually very good at reading body language. I'm very good at reading people's emotions. I know when people are upset and not. Trot never gets any plays on defense. Trot's a special teamer solely, and that's it. Yeah, he played all 35 special team snaps, or 25 special team snaps. Sorry, he hasn't played on defense in a long time. Trot's not a player in the NFL. Back to the successful Sirianni. Andrew Cataldi keeps saying it's a miracle he has won with coaching and competence. No, it's not true. Cataldi does not know what he's talking about. He's senile. I was not looking for it. I was doing work and I was recording other stuff when he came onto the screen. Recency bias and an inability to separate from facts. An inability to put yourself in someone's shoes. I don't need to be in his shoes. I need to read what he's doing in his shoes. All right? I'm not looking for it. I've sat on this show, Noobs, and said we are better with A.J. Brown than without him. I'm not one that wants to trade A.J. Brown. I am not looking for the problem. I'm just seeing what's presented in front of me. I guarantee you I'm not the only one that feels that way. I'm guaranteed there's people in the locker room that feel that way about A.J. Brown yesterday. Guarantee it. BG is here for moral support. That's all. Everyone was talking. Look, BG wanted to come back. The Eagles didn't want him to come back at first. He's come back. He hasn't brought moral support. The defense hasn't gotten that much better. I mean, they had 2 good games and 1 bad game. BG is just old. It's not as bad as it looks, Rick. It's not. This is more frustration. This moment today is for fans to vent their frustrations. We can get to the nitty-gritty. We can get to the X's and O's later. I think the Eagles fans deserve, after what they watched yesterday, an opportunity to vent and be frustrated and call out whoever they want. That's what today's about. Today's about letting our frustrations go. And then we can move on to more positive things. But that's the problem with the fan base, inability to control the irrational thoughts. No, I mean, I don't think it's irrational. I really don't. In fact, he get 30-yard a game and the team wins, and he acts like it's a funeral. Then the team loses and he gets 100 yards in the game and he's all about his stats. Yeah, it's not recency bias at all. I don't, Duck, me and you disagree on a lot of things, but we're on the same page. Definitely on the same page today. Moral support, doing nothing. Yeah. I don't know if Brandon Graham should have come back, honestly, at this point. It is to see the true person who you backed, and now you see what the reality is. A.J. Brown not staying in Philly, working under an incompetent Sirianni offense. Vrabel waiting for him. Because, Mike Vrabel did so much with him the first time he had him. Mike Vrabel's an overrated coach, too. Just so you know. I know the Patriots are winning games. It's not like the Patriots beat anybody. Things I've noticed, this group complains after wins and complains after losses. Yeah? And these be more positive thoughts that you had really worked out for the Phillies too, Rick. Everybody's opinion is warranted. Yours is warranted too. And you put plenty of negative comments into the chat when it fits your narrative too. Making it sound like 2012 when Nnamdi Asomugha was laughing on the sidelines more than once down 25. Mischaracterization. Nnamdi Asomugha didn't want to play football. Okay? In 2012. He was ready to start his next career. Nnamdi Asomugha is a totally different situation. You said you can't compare to other situations. Okay? This situation is individual to just A.J. Brown and 2025. It's a Philly sports fan pastime. It is. I think we pour our heart and passion into this team enough where if we want to be pissy the day after an ugly, disappointing, frustrating loss, Eagles fans are allowed to. I don't agree, but if a fan wants to say fire Nick Sirianni, they have the right to do it. It's wrong. It's not going to happen, but they have the right to feel that way today. If you just get beat by the better team and you put out 110% effort, that's one thing. But the amount of mistakes that happened yesterday, it's ridiculous. Don't judge me. I've never been a fan of AJ when he does good, but personally, I've always preferred Smitty. He seems genuinely happy for his teammates. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Rick. I just understand why people are frustrated at this point. Look, I don't like drama in general. I hate drama in all walks of life. And this Eagles team's always got drama around it this year. 2012, we were Nnamdi's last paycheck from the NFL. He better a producer and interviewer. I think he did some acting as well, right? Didn't he start acting or something like that? I think he was in some TV shows or something. I'm not sure. Well, I tried to be positive in 23, Rick. Not sure if you were watching the show in 23. Every week I said, don't worry, we'll be fine. Every week I said that nothing was wrong. Every week. I said an ugly win is better than a good loss. And where did that get us in 23? I'm not comparing this team to 23. 23 gave this team an understanding how to not let it happen again. Look, we're still 8-3 against arguably one of the toughest schedules I have ever seen as an Eagles fan. Just think of the teams we've beaten this year. I had us at 8-3 at this point. I didn't have the right wins and losses written down, but I had us at 8-3. Who did I have? What were my losses before the season started? I had KC, Denver, and Green Bay as the three losses at this point. KC, Denver, and Green Bay. Seriously, if we scored a field goal or two and lost, it would not be as bad. But 3/4 of nothing is an energy. Yeah, exactly. All you had to do was score one more time. Or your defense needed to make one more stop. But for 3/4, they didn't do any of it. All aspects of this team failed for 3/4. Cognitive irrational dissonance. You think we're smart enough to understand that? Everyone wants a robot that says nothing. It's an entertainment business, not Y2K. Okay? Doesn't change my opinion that A.J. Brown's got to be smarter with his choice of words. A.J. Brown is an elite wide receiver, but he's got to be smarter. Plain and simple. I don't know. For anyone to stay positive with a team capable of being dynamic offense and fails to live up to it, it's abnormal not to complain. Yeah, you're in your right to complain, Jonathan. I don't agree with everything you've said today, right? But I think you're well in your right to say, fire the world. Sell the team. That was an embarrassing game of football yesterday. Piss poor performance. Okay? I get it. Yeah, yesterday was frustrating with this Eagles team, but this team will be fine. Horrendous officiating, shitty second half, but this is also the same team that beat Dallas, won in KC. Absolutely. And everything you say here is right. Yesterday was frustrating, and Eagles fans are just venting today. That's part one of it, okay? Horrendous officiating? I don't know if the officiating was as bad as you think. Ticky-tack? Absolutely. But the Eagles were lack of discipline on a lot of those plays, okay? And it wasn't just a second half. It was 2.5, more than 2.5. It was 41 minutes of bad play, okay? Just so you know. But we did beat Dallas. We did beat KC. Green Bay. Don't forget the Rams, who are number one in the conference right now. We beat the Rams, too. Stankini, I can't, Sirianni, Stench Tula better be held accountable. So should Jeff Stoutland. So should Vic Fangio. So should everybody. Actually did not see the AJ Geico commercial when he needed a translator. I think that is what we needed for him. Yeah. Yeah. You are not crazy. You woke up to the truth, so stay strong and patient. The truth will set you free. Right? What's up? Make sure you've liked and subscribed and shared. Do we pay A.J. Brown for his hands or his skills as an orator? Look, I'm the one that gives him a pass. He's a diva. I know it. I'd rather a diva wide receiver than not. You get rid of A.J. Brown, it's going to take you 10 years to find another, if you ever do. I get it. I still wanted to be a little bit more pissed off after that loss. Aren't you expected to hold the company line when they pay you? To an extent, yeah. Why Vic Fangio? He didn't do nothing wrong. Yes, the OC is a bigger problem, but your defense, Vic Fangio's defense, EC1, gave up almost 500 yards of offense. Vic Fangio's defense couldn't make one stop. They let him score 24 straight points, partly on the offense, okay? The defense got zero pass rush on Dak Prescott. The secondary, elite secondary, gave up 350-plus yards of passing offense. You gave it 5-7 yards on every run. Vic Fangio is not clear. They were gassed. Well, make a stop. Throw a blitz out there. Don't put Keely Ringo out there after Dory Jackson gets hurt. And yes, I know all this. Yes. I get it. A lot of that was on penalties, too. A lot of those plays or drives started out good, and then a mistake and a penalty backed them up and ended the momentum. All they had to do was make one stop, the defense. And yes, they were gassed. But you know what? If you've got this elite defense, you can't give up 500 yards of offense. Maurice, what's up, my man? Unacceptable loss for everybody involved. I hate that everybody wants to point the finger at one person after that game. Everybody wants to point just at Patullo or just at Sirianni or just at this person or that person. Everybody. Yeah, Fangio's defense was great the last 2 games. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. All you got to do is make one play. He deserves some blame. You're saying he deserves no blame whatsoever. Sidney Brown was awful, and he's probably going to have to start. You're going to be out without 2 starting safeties. I don't even know who's going to play opposite of Sidney Brown. I don't know. Some of them were ticky-tack. Some of them felt like the fix was in, sure. But you don't get 14 penalties called on you for anything other than a lack of discipline. I mean, the Cowboys had 8 or 9 penalties called on them as well. You got no choice to start Sidney Brown next week, unfortunately. Unless you're going and getting somebody off the street, unless you're suiting up, BC, you're starting Sidney Brown next week. And somebody off the practice squad, probably. Marshawn, you started the pot and you created an angry mob. This is what you wanted, right? This is what you wanted. You were hoping for the angry mob. Hey, negativity sells. Not today. I think Eagles fans are a little distraught today. Only 1 new subscriber. Only 13 likes. 30 people voted on the poll. But there's only 13 likes. There's 18 people watching right now in the YouTube room. I'd rather have Michael Carter and sign Justin Jefferson Simmons. Michael Carter actually did say could play safety, right? But he might have to play the slot with Cooper Dejean playing outside corner because Adoree Jackson ain't playing. And we're blaming the refs. Cooper is not an outside corner. Pickens torch that. Absolutely. Cooper's a slot guy. I've been saying it nonstop. Things I've noticed. This Eagles team is very resilient under Sirianni. When they get knocked down, they don't have to stay long. They rebound. Absolutely. And I always say this. They're never going to have long losing streaks. Right? Now, I do look at Rick, and I don't know. I'm sure you're going to say the positive end of this question. I will say this. Okay? The short week could make it easier for the Eagles just to move on, right? No time to dwell. Just throw the tape out and move forward, right? But also could leave them not enough time to get over it and lick their wounds. So it could go each way, the short week. Yeah, Justin Simmons on line 1. Look, I get it. I know a lot of Eagles fans are going to say it, and maybe they do bring him in. But to expect Justin Simmons, who hasn't played all year long, to step in on a 5-day week and play would be insane. Yeah, Justin Simmons is not going to start Friday on Black Friday for the Eagles, even if they sign him this morning at 9:30. Officials were shady, as I stated earlier. Sorry to accuse a person, but Jerry Jones reminds me of a warden in Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds. Yeah, look, I get it. And I understand why people feel that way. But that was not on the officials. Over Dirk Barnett 2.0 with long hair. Why didn't Nick not go for him 4th down and you punted the ball? That told me everything. Yeah. There was that 1 4th down I did want him to go for. Remember in 23 when the gauntlet was the first half of the season, we were 10-1, the second half was a cakewalk? Yeah. Yeah. Bad coaching. I know they did. And they had a big win. Come from behind win, right? I think they were down in that game. Or did the Steelers come back and make it closer? I forget. But I'm saying, what would you prefer, Rick, if you were an athlete? You know, to get right back at it the next day? Or to have time to think about it with the short week? Only the 4th time we gave up 21-point lead to lose a game, and we did it to what team? We are too much. Yeah. I mean, you really got to try hard, Maurice, to blow a 21-point lead in the NFL. Like, it takes a lot of effort to blow that lead. It takes a lot of effort to make that many mistakes and lose a 21-0 game. Like, we're sitting here on the live stream yesterday, Maurice, and we're talking, when will we see Tanner McKee? Because with this blowout, backups will be in. We got way ahead of ourselves. 4th time in team history, we gave up a 21-point lead to lose, and we did it to that freaking team. Piss poor. I get it. It's frustrating. I understand. Double digit. I watched a bunch of the first half and the third quarter of that game. Then I started getting set for the live stream, Rick. So I didn't see the end of the game. Bears team is better than I think they are, or thought they were. That was the most I had watched of the Bears. They're a very team. They play like a team. No one standout. You know, they got weapons. Caleb's a rising young quarterback who I've thrown a lot of shade at. My biggest fear, Rick, about Friday's game against the Bears isn't the Eagles. It's the fact that I've trash talked Caleb Williams since before his draft class. That I feel like this is a Caleb Williams F you to Phil moment. That if the Eagles lose, it'll be my fault because of all the trash talking I've done on Caleb. Jalen Hurts getting wasted, bruh, in his prime. Kevin Stench-Tula, Nick Stinkani, and two meatheads need to be fired. Yeah, look, we'll see. Anybody remember what the Rams' lead was on us earlier this year? Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. I know what you're getting at. I bet Nooms was asking for McKay. He was. He actually was. But because we were up big, Bears are way better than we expected. Caleb Williams is way better than I expected. You're not going to be able to beat the Bears if you can't pass rush or get a pass rush on Caleb Williams. For as great as Jalen Phillips was his first 2 weeks in Philly, he was atrocious yesterday. Eagles rebound extremely well, and they will again this week. It's what we do. It's what they do. But yes. I hope so. Them boys punch y'all in the mouth last night. They did. What's up, Marique? It's embarrassing. It's frustrating. It's something that we don't expect to happen. Phil, Caleb Williams doesn't even know you exist. I wouldn't worry about it. No, he knows. He DMs me every day. What are you going to say bad about me? He's got a picture of me that he throws darts at or knives at all the time. The whole team is to blame for that loss. The whole team, the whole organization, coaches, the GM. Everybody's to blame for yesterday. The towel boy. Who's the locker room attendant that Jalen Hurts likes? If you lose first round in playoffs, do you fire head coach? Honestly, no. No, you do not fire head coach. 1 year after winning a Super Bowl. That's been to 2 in a 4-year stretch, then that would mean. No. The sky isn't falling, but the clouds are rolling in, Rick. Sky's not falling, but the weather forecast, it does have a storm. We're still waiting to see which spaghetti string of the hurricane path, whether the hurricane's going to make landfall or not, or is it going to skirt out the coast? It's like when you're tracking hurricanes. Which way is it going to go? Which way is it going to turn? We don't know yet. The Eagles now have a season-high 12 penalties. They had 9 penalties 3 times this season. It's the most they've had since 2022. The penalties are killer, man. Penalties kill so much momentum in the game yesterday. How many times was it 2nd and 2 and a false start? 2nd and 3, a holding. Those kind of careless mistakes, illegal formation. Those kind of mistakes kill a drive. We have 2 losses that we allowed the other team to come back. 2 games where the offense did nothing after the big lead. And it's frustrating. Offense not scoring, defense not stopping, and special teams fumbling on their goal. Yeah. Hell, Jake Elliott missed a field goal. Yeah, it was a long one, but he missed a field goal. Braden Mann shanked the punt yesterday. Had some good ones, but he shanked the punt yesterday. So many people failed at their job yesterday. Officials allowed Dallas to hold on every play. Fix was in. Hey, what's happened? I went to the game. Trust me, it was a lot worse in person. Oh, Andy, I'm sorry, man. That sucks that you traveled to Big D and that was it. Friday is going to be a show-me type of game. I think we show up. I hope the short week makes them turn around and forget about it quickly. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, vote on the poll. I hope you had fun at least. I know it's got to be frustrating to be there in person for that kind of performance, but man, hope you at least had fun. You know I am a diehard Cowboys fan. Oh, are you? I did not know that. And I was pissed off and impressed with what the Eagles did in the first half. But that's the second half. The Cowboys own their asses. Absolutely. Look, Cowboys fans have every right to gloat today. They beat us, plain and simple. And this is the only Eagles channel that you can subscribe to where we'll look at things unbiased down the middle to an extent. You whooped our asses in the second half. Actually, the second half of the second quarter on. Dallas has not won shit in 30 years. I get that. But they won yesterday. Today's not the day for us to rub it in their faces that we're the better franchise right now, Rick. They have every right to gloat. So you bring him back if he collapses. He's not elite at all. Rather get guy like Ben Johnson type coach than have Nick. Nick's good in my book for a while now. Maybe time to move on from Jake Elliott. Probably not. I mean, a 56-yard field goal isn't a chip shot for everybody. In other news, Stranger Things is coming out Wednesday. No, I said this the other day. Was it on Friday's show or Sunday's live stream? Susan, I'm over it. It's been far too long since season 4 ended. I don't even remember what happened. So I'm going to boycott Stranger Things season 5, I think. I really think so. Phil doesn't depend on which weather model you use. If you use WIP, we are done. If you use yours 50-50, it makes landfall. Yeah. Jalen Hurts, when asked if he's surprised that the Eagles' offense hasn't found consistency. No. Yes, I heard him answer that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm unemployed. Everyone's happy to see me unemployed. Come on, man. You Eagles fans are something else. We kick your asses and you automatically. Yeah, exactly. No, that's a select few. I do not represent all Eagles fans. Eagles fans are frustrated, Marie. You got to understand it. You'd be frustrated too if your team blew a 21-0 lead, right? There's a frustration right now. If you want to talk about the refs, how about the bogus call on roughing your kicker? I think it was tipped, yeah. I think that was more, though, I didn't even know it was challengeable, Marie. But supposedly that was a reviewable play. So if anything, I guess you could blame your coach for not challenging it. If we could all see that it was a tipped ball, yeah. I agree. I have not asked for anyone's job at this point. I am not asking for anyone's job. They very well may be. For what it's worth, the stadium is amazing. That's awesome. I've never been to Dallas. I've only flown through Dallas's airport a few times. Never actually been anywhere in Texas other than the airports. Tony the janitor is to blame for not drugging Patullo and taking over play calling. Yeah. Oh, what was that? What did they do in Rookie of the Year? They locked the one coach in the locker. Yeah. You should have just locked them up. Bears need to get this ass whipping on Friday. Let's do it. I need a 30-0 win, right? Missy Elliott is back. Yeah, 56 is not a chip shot. No, not. People might say it is, but it's not. Better be for $1 billion. Yeah. You know damn well you're about to watch it. You better do a recap on the YouTube. Come on. Stop. What? What are you talking about? I'd be pissed if my team did that. Of course you would. Today's Overreaction Monday. Overreaction Monday is for one thing. Overreacting. Rick, have a great day. We're at 3.5 minutes of overtime. 3.5 minutes of overtime, Ari. Also, Dallas sucks. Yeah. Stop. O-line pointed at the Cowboys' usage of 5-man fronts. Elaine Johnson said Dallas hasn't showed many odd fronts. All the talk before the game from Tom Brady and other preview shows was about how much 5-man fronts they run, and they did not prepare for it. So that's on Stoutland, that's on Patullo, that's on Sirianni, not preparing them for what Dallas does. It says a lot about it. Just give credit where it's due. Dallas did what needed to be done. Yeah. For 41 minutes, Dallas was the better football team. Plain and simple. Something they had much time on task. They definitely failed at practice. Our D-line punked your O-line last night straight up. Yeah, our O-line's been bad. People don't realize this, Marique. Our O-line's been bad. You might not watch many Eagles games. Our O-line's been bad all year. Plain and simple. It's been like 2 years since season 4. 2 years. I forget everything. You know what you do with Bears? They are going wild. You put them down. Yes. That's what we need, right? Coaching malpractice is something that everybody knows is going to be done, and your players say you were not prepared. Overtime, you got to be somewhere. What? Meanwhile, Eagles have a better winning percentage. Stop. Okay. Today's not the day to pump chests. Okay. Fred Johnson was asked why the run game isn't working. I have no idea. I'm not a coach. Yes, I know. I already went over that one earlier. That goes with the Landon Dickerson comment as well. That's frustration. Fred Johnson said he was ready to make a name for himself. Well, he made a name for himself yesterday. That he was a black hole for the defense. Did what was needed. We did not. Exactly. I throw no shade at Cowboys fans today. I'm a Cowboys fan. I watch all NFC East games. Got to keep up with the division. Yeah, when they're the ones on TV and the Eagles aren't playing, absolutely, I watch them too. 100%. Offense can't run or pass. I'm surprised we even scored points. Well, they moved the ball with ease for 18 and a half minutes. Jalen Hurts on the five-man fronts. I think that's just how they're built now, given the three interior defenders they have. They want to keep their best guys on the field. Yeah. I know all the quotes. I know what all the quotes were. I watch all the pressers. Definitely sounds like there's a disconnect between the players and the coaches on the Philadelphia Eagles. No doubt about it. At all. 100% see it. I see it. The players see it. The media see it. Everybody knows it. It is what it is. We did not play like the better team. Plain and simple. That's why you do a recap. Max got bent like a pretzel, and now the upside down broke through. All you need to remember. The first season or two of it, I was so into it. Then I just kind of lost interest in it. I still watched season 3 and 4 just because I felt obligated to. And honestly, Susan, I'll probably eventually watch it, but I'm not rushing to watch it on Wednesday. Sorry. What's up, Bruce? How you feeling this morning? If you can't run the ball in the playoffs, then you might as well write off this season. Yeah. I feel like that was a very bad way to lose yesterday, obviously. That's the understatement of the day, Bruce. Coming in after the show's supposed to end. Anyone watch this show, Fargo? I watched the first season of it. I never watched any more of it. In the first half, 0 points in the second half. Well, 0 points after the 11-minute mark of the second quarter. We might have to start calling Sirianni Chuckles. He's not doing anything that we know about to fix a problem because his boy is involved. Like, I get it. I get the frustration. I get it. I feel the main thing is that Patullo is not ready for the job. I asked him, we know Patullo, we know Sirianni's not good. Personally, I'd turn it over to Scott Loeffler, the quarterback's coach. Instead of talking smack about my team, Eagles fans giving them their flowers. Hell, I was giving the Eagles their flowers. Yeah, look, there's only one person in the chat that really tried to talk smack, okay? And you got to understand that's just the way it is. You're a lone Cowboys fan in the Eagles chat. What do you expect? Most of them are going to tell you, you're right. You curb stomped us yesterday. Curb stomped us. I love Fargo's show. Snow is an awesome show. Yeah, we're into a lot of streaming shows now, so one of those might be next. I can't believe that Tank Bigsby was on the field for 2 plays and he ran the ball once yesterday. Obviously, this is not a tank season kind of joke. This is honestly what works. And the fact that they're not using them is kind of crazy. Friday, we ain't going to show up for one half of the game. Which half, though? Yeah, absolutely agree. I know what the Eagles did. I know what they did. And it was bad. Patullo walked away from the run. If he pushed that run through all quarters, yeah. But the run, he's got to call the right type of run plays, too. Marik's doing a good job of being classy in the chat. Feel worried for the first time as the Cowboys are not that good. They're good. They're better than we think, obviously. Some's good. Yeah, look, it's all in good fun. Now, if they're still talking trash 2-3 days from now, that's another thing. I get it. And the one person that talks the trash is the one that says be more positive, too. Phil, I feel that means we might not be as good. We're struggling, for sure. Is it Marika? I just saw the first few letters. Marique, sorry. My apologies, Marika. My apologies, I called you by the wrong name. And if it was such a competitive league, Kevin Patullo, offense coordinator, career is over faster than it started. He should go to college for practice. Or go and be a head coach somewhere. Hold on, the Giants fired Mike Kafka? Is this real breaking news? That's kind of shocking to hear. Considering the offense moved pretty well yesterday. I'm just doing a quick scroll through Twitter. I don't see it anywhere. Do not see that anywhere online. No, there it is. Oh, they fired defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. I see that. Yeah, I don't see anything on Mike Kafka. Yep, pronounced Marika. Sorry. The letters are very small on the screen. So I'm trying my best here. I'm at almost 400 comments here. Yeah, I have no problem. Cowboys fans deserve to boast today. Okay, so the longer thing. Gotcha. I don't know how you guys fell off yesterday, but I'm glad you did. Yeah. Well, we've done it a lot this year. Okay. I see. I know. I just saw. I saw it. EC1. Anyway, guys, we're an hour and 42 minutes in this show. It's time to wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow. I got to run shorts. I got to start doing things today. I need breakfast. I need more coffee. We'll try to take a better look at it tomorrow without the rose glasses on for sure. Not using tank or whatever or what works is the issue. Yeah. And I'll look good for Kyle Schwarber right now. We'll get back into baseball later this week for sure. Please subscribe. Even if you don't care about Eagles talk the rest of the year, subscribe, please. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I need that 1K. I need it. So hit that subscribe button. Share it out. Tell your friends. Yeah, I do mispronounce my own name too. It is what it is. Guys, everybody have a great day. Muchas gracias. I appreciate it. Go Birds. Always go Birds. And as always, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bubbles up.